What's up, folks? Stu Myrick back at the Sports Guys Talking Wrestling World Headquarters in the beautiful ATX. Hope you had a good weekend. Mine was jam-packed. Came back from Phoenix, anchoring the Horns coverage of Super Bowl 57 last week on Radio Row in Phoenix. Great time. Had a lot of fun, and it was fun. It was fun. A lot of good time. A lot of good interviews. If you want to check them out, there's some of them that are on hornfm.com. I say they're going to be available as a podcast. Silly me. Forgot to distribute the podcast, but I did today. So now they are. So if you'd like to check them out, via your favorite podcast provider, search The Horn at Super Bowl 57 Radio Row. And you can check them out. Had, talk to Anthony Ramos, the great actor who's in the upcoming Transformers movie. Talked to Mike Pereira and Dean Blandino, former NFL referees now. They do the rules analysis for Fox Sports NFL coverage. Talked to Sam Acho. Talked to Nate Boyer. There was so many of them. So check it out. You can check them out there. And the wrestling ones are on, Sports Guys Talking Wrestling as podcast and as videos. There's two of them as videos. Tony Khan, which you'll also hear tomorrow night on the radio, on the Horn, as well as Seth Rollins with Special Olympics athlete Renee Manfredi. Wonderful young lady. And so we'll have a little bit of that tonight when we preview Elimination Chamber, because I asked Seth about Elimination Chamber. So, but yeah, it was a fun time in Phoenix, and had a, it was every day, just nonstop. Did hit a few parties. Went to the Ditka and Jaws Cigars with the Stars. That's always a fantastic event. Mike Ditka, Ron Jaworski. This time it was Jaws and Brian Urlacher, the Hall of Famer from the Bears, joining up, and it was a great time. I saw so many folks. In fact, I was walking in, and right in front of me, Jack Youngblood, the Hall of Famer from the Rams. It was good to see him again. Jonathan Ogden, Hall of Famer from the Ravens. I saw Johnny Damon, Hall of Fame baseball player from the Red Sox, Yankees, and, a few others. Saw him. It was good. So, yeah, anyway. Did catch up on wrestling as well. By the way, big thanks to Mike Sempervive from Wrestling Observer Live for joining me on the show last week. We were going to try to do video, but the Wi-Fi at the Phoenix Convention Center, our Super Bowl Radio Wi-Fi was a bit unstable, so we had to do it by phone, which it was fine. But yeah, we are just a few days away from Elimination Chamber coming up this Saturday in Montreal. And it's, WWE finds themselves in a bit of a quandary, and we'll talk about it, but because you got Cody Rhodes, who won the Royal Rumble. He is going to be in the main event at WrestleMania for the, what do they call it? The undisputed WWE Universal Championship something. But anyway, but you also got Sami Zayn, who, did the whole thing with the bloodline, and now, so Elimination Chamber, you got Roman versus Sami for the title. it's going to be interesting, and I'm hoping they find a way, and we'll talk about it. But I'm hoping they will find a way to, because Sammy's not leaving Montreal with the title. It's not going to happen. But I'm hoping they find a way to make it where, like, he'll end up with Sammy and Kevin Owens, versus the Usos for the tag titles, and that'll be almost as big. So, we shall see. NXT on the television. They're doing some piece with Sol Ruka. I guess talk about growing up on the beach. Oh yeah, because I don't know. Anyway, they just had JC Jane on talking about why she kicked Gigi Dolan. No more toxic attraction. Apparently, the kick was a little stiff. In fact, there were pictures online of the raspberry that was on Gigi Dolan's cheek from the kick. So it was pretty stiff. So we'll see how that plays out. AEW debuted last week in El Paso. This week in Laredo. So that'll be big. New Japan Pro Wrestling has a big event in San Jose as well coming up this Saturday. Mercedes Moné, the former Sasha Banks, will be wrestling Kyrie for the IWGP Women's title. So that'll be a big one. So yeah, things are heating up. Things are starting to get interesting, as you might expect, as we are 6 weeks away from WrestleMania. 6-7 weeks. I did run into one of the PR for WWE. He was there with Seth Rollins and chatted him up a little bit, and they're getting ready for Los Angeles. So should be a big weekend that weekend. We'll see. I'm looking forward to it. Just out of saying what the hell, I did put in for a media credential. We'll see. I don't think I'll get approved just because I'm not in California. But we'll see. I don't know. I mean, right now I'm planning to watch WrestleMania from here at home at the world headquarters. So, by the way, big congratulations to the Kansas City Chiefs. I had a feeling that game was going to come down to who had the ball last. And sure enough, Kansas City. And talk about smart strategy from Andy Reid to, they got down there. They got within, down to the 2-minute warning, and they didn't score quick. Like you saw, I believe it was Juju Smith-Schuster run, and he stops right at the 1-yard line and stays in bounds, by the way, so the clock keep running. And, smart strategy. Run the clock down, get the field goal. You left the Eagles with no time whatsoever, and there you go. Chiefs win 38-35. Patrick Mahomes got that Lombardi trophy in one hand and that custom WWE championship belt in the other. That was pretty cool. So I was happy for them, as I expect. I'm not a Eagles fan. Cowboys, come on. By default, I can't root for the Eagles. Plus, Jalen Hurts, starting quarterback for the Eagles, is a Sooner. So, see, double damnation. So, there we go. But, yeah, congrats to the Chiefs. And now, it's the offseason. Yeah, we got USFL coming, and you got the XFL starting soon. And I'll check those out a little bit, but it's the offseason. I think probably, next week after is the scouting combine. And then towards the end of April will be the draft. We'll see where Bijan Robinson ends up, the everything Longhorn running back. We'll see where he ends up. I think most of the mock drafts I've seen, he is going first round as Justin Smash Simmons walks in. I've seen anywhere from 19 to 23, 24, so we'll see. It's running backs. 19 to 24 Bijan Robinson. The everything running back.
There you go, man.
What's this? Oh, hey, a cigar. Thank you. Hand rolled
by a Cuban man.
Okay.
In Florida.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
Came from a very exclusive party, so
all right.
It was tasty. And I know you probably already had your fill of cigars this weekend because I know you hit up your annual party, but figured one more couldn't hurt to the collection.
I'll take one more. Sure. Thank you. How you doing?
I'm doing all right, man.
It's good to see you, man.
Good to see you, too.
Good
I was busy spending y'all's money, and I'm going to say that on air again. Because you hadn't seen me since Royal Rumble.
Oh, yeah. Oh, very nice. How was your weekend?
Busy.
Yeah?
Yeah, like I really was in Florida. I'm not making that up.
Okay.
I'm like, that's what my Super Bowl Sunday consisted of, was like having to work.
In Florida, huh?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
I know you did all the whole week, so I was
the Radio Row, yeah. I did make it back. Got home around 2 p.m. or so. So
I honestly wouldn't mind being on the flight during the Super Bowl because, I mean, now pretty much every flight has live TV.
Yes.
Which is really nice. It definitely
does.
Definitely makes traveling a lot easier with the smaller seating and the cramped spaces. That's like the one thing. It's like, thank you for giving that to me for free.
Yeah. It was, but yeah, it was a good one. Fun week, and so yeah.
I mean, I know that you had a lot of guests, but it just like you went to a lot of functions, and that seemed like more fun than anything else.
I actually only went to like a few. I mean, we had opening night on Monday night.
Only a few.
Went to the media party on Tuesday night.
Yeah.
Then Dick and Jaws Cigars with the Stars on Thursday, and then I did the Lee Steinberg party and Tasty NFL on Saturday. Yeah,
so you were out every night.
Just about. I didn't go out on Wednesday. I did not go out on Friday night.
You see, you made it seem like you took it easy.
Actually, those nights I was busy, editing sound and getting stuff up to the, for the website and all that good stuff. So yeah, my housemate, my running buddy Joe Roderick from KMOX and Claves Online in St. Louis, he was out a lot. He was going to this concert, that concert, whatever. So yeah, he was out about. Now he's your age, so he's got a little more oomph.
I guess I was pretty tired after I was done, so I'm not sure how much more oomph I have.
Yeah, well, it was good. So
one of these days you're gonna have to stay for the game, though.
Well, I did for 53 and 54. I went to the game. Honestly,
especially this one. This one would have been a good one to see in person.
It was, yeah. It would have been a good one.
And you got to see Rihanna's halftime performance.
Okay.
I mean, the people I were with they loved it. I was surprised.
Yeah, he got rave reviews. It's just that's not my genre, But it was fine, So. Oh man! All right, let's make a little radio magic. The second segment is in the can already, by the way. So, you will hear my interview with Tony Khan from last week on Radio Row.
Oh yeah, I did see you have the picture. It was how was that random?
No, not really. It was we had because we did it last year too, and we knew he was going to be in town, so
that's good though.
Got reached out to the PR folk at AEW, and they were able to get him over there. And
hell yeah,
he did quite a few interviews, so including with me. So it was good. So, all right, let's make a little radio magic.
Hey, sports guys, talking wrestling. I love you guys. And this is the real deal, man. This is from me, the mouth of the South, Jimmy Hart. Love you guys.
When they're not covering the sports world, they're talking about the world of professional wrestling.
It's Sports Guys Talking Wrestling.
Now, with Justin Simmons, here's Stu Myrick.
It is Sports Guys Talking Wrestling on the Horn. Stu Myrick back in the ATX with Justin the Smash Simmons.
After spending all y'all's money from the Royal Rumble win.
Well, yeah, such big winnings,
Hey, man, it got me my lift rides in Florida.
Well, that's good. That's
at
good.
least two.
I spent a little more on Lyft and Uber and Phoenix.
Man, it's expensive.
But I was going back and forth.
So was
between Radio Row and then to the different parties.
Well, not there.
Yeah. So,
but still, Lyft now like something. What was it? Like $50 a day. I was like, man, I would have been better off renting the car.
I think I spent around $25-30 a day
on rides.
Yeah.
No, every ride I took, and I mean, this is like West Palm Beach isn't necessarily a huge place, but it was like $14 to $20 each time.
Well,
that's without the tip.
Okay, and to be fair, so the place where Joe and I were staying, we were less than 2 miles from the media center, so it was.
Oh, that's pretty sweet.
Yeah, it was pretty sweet. So, but yeah, back in the ATX after a wonderful week in Phoenix, anchoring the Horns coverage of Super Bowl 57 from Radio Row. Again, big thanks to Mike Sempervive from Wrestling Observer Live for joining me last week. It was fun. Yeah, it was a fun week though.
Did you have to wrestle Foss for table space?
Nope. Nope. Foss was with was it ESPN Radio El Paso. So he had their spot over there, and I had mine right next to Brandon Lang, which was Brandon's a hoot. He's hilarious.
Did you see our friends from San Antonio and Carolina Teague? I know she was trying to line up like wrestling interviews too.
No, I mean I saw our friends from San Antonio Sports Star, Jason Minix and Rob and all those folks.
Yeah,
and
Carolina's a part of that.
By the way, met Jason's daughter Erica, who was there as like their runner. Sweet girl.
I mean, everybody needs some extra help during the Super Bowl.
So that was cool. Had our buddies from 105 Through the Fan, the flagship for the Dallas Cowboys, over by us. It's so funny. I always characterize Radio Row as a radio reunion with a football game attached, because it's about there are folks. The only time we see them is on Radio Row, and we get together. Hey, how you doing? And then we won't see each other till next year. So, but it was fun. It was a lot of fun. Easily best moment sitting there with Earl Campbell and Tony Dorsett together.
Oh, that's right. They have that thing coming out soon, right?
Yeah, it was on Saturday night.
The 8 of 8 or
the perfect 10.
There you go.
10 men that have won the Heisman Trophy and are in the Pro Football Hall of Fame. And I had Earl Campbell, Tony Dorsett talking to Chad and Zay. You could hear how excited Chad and Zay were talking to them, but they're back here in Austin. I'm sitting as close to Tony Dorsett as I'm sitting to you right now.
Oh no, you're in between them, aren't you?
No, I had Tony to my left, and then Earl was at the end of the table.
Ah, okay.
And I'll be honest, I almost got a little emotional just to see them. Arguably two of the greatest ever to set foot on a football field in the state of Texas.
Well,
it was something special. It was something really special, and it was hard. Took a little bit. They got done, and we took pictures and said our goodbyes, and I had to take a moment and kind of, wow.
That's cool.
Yeah. Before we get to our Elimination Chamber preview, some sad news pass on. Jerry Jarrett, father of Jeff Jarrett, promoted Tennessee for so many, many years, passed away at the age of 80. He had been battling cancer of the esophagus, finally succumbed to it. Jerry Jarrett was one of those, it was his mother, Jeff Jarrett's grandmother, that was selling tickets and ended up being a promoter. And then Jerry Jarrett started, I think, in the 50s or something like that.
Yeah. Well, he was also a performer as well.
Yeah, he did wrestle.
So he kind of, had the grassroots of the business from the family.
He did.
And he rose through everything. I think the most interesting aspect of his career, because you talk about Tennessee, obviously he ran the promotion with the King, Jerry Lawler, who also, we wish speedy recovery to his
he had
stroke.
It was like, I think it was a stroke or something, yeah.
But I think the most interesting aspect of Jerry Jarrett's history, not just providing us his son, and giving in the whole TNA thing, but it's like when he took over for Vince during the steroid trial, because somebody had to lead WWF at the time, right?
Yeah.
And help make all the day-to-day decisions just in case Vince was going to go to jail.
Right.
And that's the guy he chose, was Jerry Jarrett.
Yeah, and in fact, Memphis was like the last territory.
Yeah.
When Vince had, all the others had folded, they were the last one standing, and so you see a lot of, the Memphis territory was as hot as ever. He promoted in Dallas for a bit.
Oh, when they had the
they
merger.
had that merge, World Class and USWA, and it was it was interesting.
But you just talked about 4 big moments in professional wrestling history, and they all involve this guy.
Yeah.
So it just goes to show you how important the Jarrett family is and the aspects to where we're at now as fans of the sport.
Yeah, absolutely. So all of our thoughts, prayers go to Jeff and the family. It's 80 years old is a long life, and the contributions that Jerry made to wrestling, will never be forgotten. So, our best wishes to the family of Jerry Jarrett, passing away at the age of 80. Let's kind of get into the preview. Elimination Chamber comes up this Saturday, 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Central on Peacock.
Well, this would be a good time to point out the Jimmy Hartliner from the beginning, since we do film on a Tuesday.
Yes, so we're taping on Tuesday. Did that, Valentine's Day. By the way, those of you, happy Valentine's Day to those of you that observe. But anyway, 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Central, coming to us from the Bell Center in Montreal. This is going to be an interesting show. And it all has to do with 2 men, Roman Reigns and Sami Zayn.
Well, before you even jump into it, isn't that really cool, though, that a show on the road to WrestleMania actually seems like it's going to have some actual worth instead of just be a road bump or roadblock?
Yes. They had the show called Roadblock for a while, and they finally did away with it. So, the main event's going to be Roman Reigns versus Sami Zayn. Roman defending the undisputed WWE Universal Championship. So, if you watch what they have done leading up to the Royal Rumble, at the Royal Rumble, and now since leading into the Elimination Chamber, and WWE has always had a problem creating baby faces or keeping baby faces. They could do heels all day long, but baby faces, making them legit, they always had a problem with it.
Really?
You can do some, but nothing like this. Now you got two white hot baby faces. Cody Rhodes, Sami Zayn. Cody wins the Royal Rumble. He's in the main event at WrestleMania. It's done. He's going to challenge for the title. Sami Zayn is, he's going to challenge for the title Elimination Chamber after what he did, hitting Roman with the chair. Now we see the cracks in the bloodline, and is Jey Uso in or out, and all the good stuff.
Well, he definitely isn't in Canada.
Yeah.
No offense, he legally can't be there.
Yeah. Well, I think I did see something that they are cleared.
Are both of them cleared now?
I think so.
Wow.
Yeah.
Because I mean, it was just because of his priors.
But I think they're going to keep him home. Just as of right now, if you go with what I guess it was SmackDown.
Mm-hmm.
Paul telling him, "Y'all stay home."
But I mean,
that's got to be to cover. But I thought I saw something that said yes, they are both cleared now.
But if they are both cleared, and they said that on Friday to throw us all off because everybody that reports on this feels like, oh, we already know what the real story is, then that would be amazing, and kudos to the WWE if that is the case, because that would shock everyone.
Well, and that's kind of where I'm going is, so far they have, and credit to Triple H, Paul Levesque, whatever you want to call him. Now, look, there have been some misses with his booking. Lacey Evans, big miss. I mean, we don't know which way she's going. But this story, and we talk about it every week, but it's so true. This is the best storyline they've had in, I'd say, a decade at least.
When we go back and we talk about WWE history, like how we kind of do, and we talk about feuds, and you think about things like the mega powers and when they explode, and you think about times like Jannetty getting kicked through the mirror,
Janae and Shawn Michaels.
You think of the match between Brett and Bulldog at 92 SummerSlam. You think about things like that. And the storylines that lead up to those moments. This is going to be mentioned alongside those.
Definitely. Absolutely. It's going to be interesting to see how they do this because, I mean, the main event, Roman and Sammy, I will be absolutely shocked if Roman doesn't come out of this as the champion. They've got to frame this in a way that keeps Sammy hot and that doesn't derail Cody. Because, obviously, the winner will face Cody Rhodes in the main event at WrestleMania. So far, it's been masterful. And then especially you go back, was it last Monday night, the promo exchange with Cody Rhodes and Paul Heyman, which, my God, that was a masterclass. Oh, my God, that was so good.
Let's see.
And then this Monday night, Cody Rhodes and Sami Zayn. And Cody saying, yes, I believe you can beat Roman Reigns. Yes. I believe you can be champion. Yes, I want you as my opponent in that main event. I don't want to see you next Monday on Raw. I want to see you at WrestleMania. Kind of that pep talk. And the crowd was cheering for both men. I mean, solidly behind both men.
You're like, we haven't seen a crowd like this enamored with baby faces since
No.
before the Marks took over.
No, not even close.
It definitely
It's-
had like a 1990s, like late 80s, early 90s, like reaction to baby. Like it was genuine,
Yes.
right? And that was weird.
And that's what I was talking about. This is, in my mind, what I'm wanting is eventually they get it to where it's going to be Sammy and Kevin versus the Usos for the tag titles, with Sammy and Kevin going over. And Mike and I talked about this last week. We see WrestleMania. WrestleMania should be the ultimate downfall of the bloodline. It completely falls apart. Usos lose tag titles. Roman loses the big title and falls apart. That's it. Bloodline goes away. Now I do like when Mike mentioned about, you look at Tama Tonga in New Japan, as well as Hikuleo. Apparently their deals in New Japan might be coming up soon.
Yep.
Find a way to get them, have them finish out their New Japan. And then the two of them plus Tonga Loa, bring them in as the new bloodline.
Yeah. But
That
very
could be
very rarely does the word new attached to anything in pro wrestling ever work.
Yeah, you're right. So that's going to be, but that's a discussion for after WrestleMania. I do think that there is a way. Don't ask me how, but there is a way to have so Roman and Sammy go at it. Roman gets the win in the end.
Mm-hmm.
They start beating up, here come the Usos. They start beating up Sammy. Here comes Kevin. Clears the ring. All of a sudden, Sammy stands up. Sammy and Kevin face to face. And they come together. Big old hug. And crowd in Montreal going nuts because, of course, that's their homeland. And then Monday night on Raw, Kevin, Sammy, we want the Usos, and start building it. And I really do believe there's a way to do that and make that feel big and special. Now, how? I don't know, but
I see it as a disservice to Sammy though, because he should be able to be a main eventer at WrestleMania for all the work that he's put on.
I think so. I just don't know if WWE sees him.
I know,
like that. Right
I know,
now.
but I mean, if you're just looking at merit, like what you have done for the company, as in terms of sales, in terms of interest to the product, and then he's been one of the main guys since the pandemic. A lot of the stuff has been focused around him. So I mean, I didn't foresee this happening, but I feel like it's just as a natural rise, just like a Bryan Daniel situation, or Bryan Danielson, wrong guy, right?
Yeah, Bryan Danielson.
Type of situation where it's like, I don't think you can deny it. I think you have to give him a title shot.
And it's not like you can't have Cody versus Sammy down the road for the title.
Oh no, definitely not. I mean, you can.
So.
I think that would definitely fit within the cards. It's just that, I don't know. I think it's just a big like, hey, thank you for everything you did, and putting yourself in the middle of all this to really make this work.
Yeah, we shall see. Like I said, I think most everybody believes Roman will come out on top. He's going to have the title going into WrestleMania. It's just going to be how they manage all that. So, the rest of the card looks like this. You got Edge and Beth Phoenix taking on Finn Balor, Rhea Ripley.
Would you rather see Dom? I'm just playing.
Nah, I mean, we'll see Dom on the side, on the outside. I've got two schools of thinking, where, and I'll be honest, up until like yesterday, I was thinking, I want Edge and Beth Phoenix to win. Now I'm feeling maybe Finn and Rhea should.
There you go, Stu.
I don't know.
Come to the dark side.
I don't know.
You can't.
Do they have cookies?
They might.
Okay, good.
They're usually they're usually dark chocolate, from what I hear.
Hey, I like dark chocolate.
But I was gonna say you can't have Rhea going into WrestleMania week, right?
Yeah.
And I mean, like, and she's clearly over. People
over.
love her.
Yeah, she is
Yeah,
over.
and like, no disrespect to Edge and Beth Phoenix, but there's a reason why they're Hall of Famers.
Yeah.
They've had their time, and I think you really do need to give Finn and Rhea the win here.
I think so.
But isn't it funny, Stu, that WWE does a really good job of taking stuff that really isn't working, and then eventually sometimes they can grind it out long enough to make it work. And the Judgment Day has been one of those things for me.
Well, and again, that's been the.
Or do we give more credit to the performers? Because it's like the New Day. Like, the New Day's thing wasn't going to work unless it was because of those guys.
I think in this case it's a little bit of both.
Right? It's not
It
just
is.
these guys. It's
Yeah.
like a combination.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, Bobby Lashley taking on Brock Lesnar.
Do you want to see this? I heard people were kind of like, I'm not sure. I'm like, but it's Brock
As crazy
Lesnar.
as it sounds, this might be the popcorn match.
Ah,
We've seen it once already.
I know, but anytime
Not
Brock,
to mention, we're starting to turn Bobby Lashley as many times we used to turn the Big Show.
well,
Now he's a heel again.
well,
He was a face 2 weeks ago.
I'm not sure if he's a heel. He might be just doing a situational
well,
heel thing.
He was definitely playing heel Monday night on Raw.
Yeah, but I mean, all baby faces have to crack at some point. It doesn't necessarily mean that they're bad guys.
But that's what I'm saying. He's been they've turned him, I would say, at least 4 times in the last 6-8 months.
Yeah, no, I agree. But
It's like so. I mean, I'm gonna give the win to Bobby just for the sake of giving the win to somebody. But honestly, I think this is the popcorn match. So
nah, I think Brock wins. I don't think you're flying him
Okay.
out.
I mean, and that's possible. So we have 2 Elimination Chamber matches. The women's match, the winner will face Bianca Belair at WrestleMania for the Raw Women's Championship. It is Carmella, Nikki Cross, Asuka, Raquel Rodriguez, Liv Morgan, and Natalya.
I mean, obviously it's Carmella because she's
Obviously?
she's gonna have help from ringside. Corey, he's gonna find a way to throw this thing into her favor.
Corey's on commentary.
Yeah, he'll be ringside.
Yeah, he's not going to interfere in the match,
He could if he wanted to.
but he doesn't.
Well,
He doesn't interfere.
Maybe he was just saving it for a moment like this.
No. I'll be honest. It's. I don't know. I honestly don't know who.
Oh, it's Asuka.
And the funny thing is, I guess I could see Asuka. And as great as Asuka is, again, Mike and I were talking about this last week. I don't see any of these women beating Bianca at WrestleMania.
No, the only
I don't think they're strong enough yet.
the only one that's
Maybe Asuka.
she's the only one that is legitimately good enough to beat her.
Yeah.
And she's had the gimmick change. That means that she'll incorporate the mist as well.
Maybe.
It would probably.
I might go Asuka just for the sake just for the sake of making a pick. I'll go Asuka.
But I think you're seeing in this matchup a lot of faces and very few heels.
No, because you got Nikki Cross as a heel. Well, I don't actually. I
There you
would
go,
know. I don't know.
right?
I don't know who is who. So
Exactly.
I don't know who's the face, who's heel.
So it makes this match really difficult to decipher who feels the strongest out of all of them. Like the dark horse is Raquel Rodriguez because she has the build, but Asuka, because of the gimmick change, and I think the reason maybe you might be hesitant also is because she's still getting cheered. Like if she was a straight up bad guy, she would be the favorite to win this match.
Actually, it has nothing to do with whether she's getting cheered or not. I'm just saying
because
whoever the winner is, you would think would be the one they want to put the title on. But honestly, I have a hard time seeing them take the title off of Bianca to put it on any of these women. So, I don't know. The men's Elimination Chamber match, this one will be for the United States Championship. Austin Theory will defend against Seth Rollins, Bronson Reed, Montez Ford, Johnny Gargano, and Damian Priest. We're going to pause for a second because I got to put something on the soundboard. Give me a second.
I think I already know what it's going to be.
Here it is. That's what I want. Last week, while I was on Super Bowl Radio Row, had a great chance to talk to Seth Rollins, along with Renee Manfredi, a Special Olympics athlete. It was a great chat, but I did ask Seth about his strategy going into Elimination Chamber.
Yeah, I mean, it's brutal. I mean, you don't want to be one of the first two. You want to be the last pod. That increases your chances exponentially. Two guys start the match. Every few minutes, a pod opens until all four pods and all six guys, or girls in this case, are in the ring. And then eliminations can happen at any time. That's the key. Eliminations can happen at any point. So the longer you have to be in the match, the more grueling it is. And I've been in a few of these Elimination Chamber matches now. And this specific Elimination Chamber match, myself and Austin Theory are the only participants in this match who have had prior experience inside the chamber. The other four guys are all newbies. So it's going to be interesting to see what they bring to the table. I do say having the experience is one edge, and luck of the draw if I'm in a pod, for a duration of time and I can have a little extra steam when I get in there. That would be nice, too. So we'll see, man. Yeah. I would love to take that United States title off of Austin Theory and take it into WrestleMania.
For that alone, I'm going to pick Seth.
No, that wasn't that's way.
But this one's another one where it's like, I don't know if they're going to take the title off of Theory just yet.
I think this would really help legitimize him as a champion if he can walk out with the championship, regardless of how he does it. If he cheats to win, even better, obviously.
Right, because he's a smarmy heel.
Yeah.
So I'm going to pick Seth just for the sake of whatever, but it would not surprise me in the least if Austin Theory comes out of this still the U.S. champion. So.
Oh yeah, and that's why he's my pick.
Yeah. That is WWE Elimination Chamber this Saturday, 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Central. Get it on Peacock from the Bell Center in Montreal, Quebec, Canada. Way up north. Going to take a quick time out. After the break, you'll hear my conversation with AEW President and CEO Tony Khan from Super Bowl Radio Row. That's coming up next on Sports Guys Talking Wrestling on the Horn. All right.
Whoa! Who are these guys? Okay, I know who that is.
That's Von Wagner.
Yeah, but who jumped Tony?
Oh, that was Dijak.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay. I was like, whoa, isn't that?
Dijak jumped Stacks. You're not going to have him.
I guess he's going to have a match.
I hope it's not for the title.
Yep.
Oh, I guess it is. I guess we're about to take the title off of Dez.
Oh, you think he's going to lose it right here? I don't know. I thought he would retain just because he's the better wrestler. I just don't think that.
I agree.
I don't think they were going to push Wagner until something like Breaker leaves. Did Braun Breaker make an appearance on Raw after all? I wasn't watching the whole show.
Did who?
Braun Breaker.
On Raw?
Yeah,
no.
Because, I mean, they were supposed to have Trish Stratus. I know that didn't happen.
No. No Trish Stratus. No Braun Breaker. So. Let's see.
I mean, are you excited about the potential Carmelo Hayes, Steiner, Breaker match for, was it NXT Stand and Deliver?
Carmelo versus Braun?
Yeah. I mean, I think a lot of the fans have been wanting to see that match between these two.
I think
for a
it'd be
while.
good. I think it'd be good. So
I'd be interested to see what Carmelo can do to make it seem like he'd be a legitimate threat to him.
Did that tell you? Maybe not. I think. So I did put in for a media credential, just for the.
What, for NASCAR?
No, for WrestleMania. No,
cool.
I've got my NASCAR one. No, for Mania. Just.
Well, what about the?
I don't think they're gonna. I don't think they will. If they they say you're gonna notify people on March 3rd. So if they do that, I'll still have a chance to get a flight and all that good stuff.
But that means that
if they say yes, I am not holding my breath, which is fine. I'll be more than happy to watch it from here in the friendly confines of the Sports Guys Talking Wrestling World Headquarters.
I mean, but you wouldn't be on the radar because like the big WrestleMania in Philadelphia when it's what, WrestleMania 40 or no 50. Which one is it?
No,
40, right?
40.
When it becomes WrestleMania 40, that'd
be next year.
Yeah, that would be like the one to be at. Because they'll make a huge deal out of it because it's the 40th anniversary. Especially since Vince isn't really, well, I guess he is.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens.
But maybe since he's not the guy, I guess, that makes all the calls necessarily, that maybe we will see it, pushed as WrestleMania 40.
That could be it.
Well, when was the last time WrestleMania used a number to describe which WrestleMania it was?
20?
Like,
no.
30? 30-something?
30.
Because it was
30 because they had the Triple X.
Yeah.
On this, the entryway, the stage thing. So
it's just like Super Bowls. I wish they would let people have like their own design teams instead of like the same looking design for like the last decade now.
Well, they've tweaked it a little bit with this year and last year, but yeah, it is pretty much the same.
Yeah, but I mean they're nowhere near as beautiful as the ones that were made prior to that design. Oh, I was gonna say, wow, he's really gonna lose. No, I don't see him losing this match.
Yeah, maybe.
But I mean, like, you just came out and just thought that was gonna happen, though. I was like, you make it seem like Vince McMahon's booking this thing.
Maybe. All right, let's make a little magic. YouTube, Twitch, gotta mute you for a moment. We'll be right back. Wrestling, Stu Myrick, Justin the Smash Simmons. Oh man, we got a loaded independent wrestling slate to tell you about, and that is going to start in Fort Worth. Lucha Brutal presents Return of the King Friday at the Southside Preservation Hall in Fort Worth. Bell time 7:30 p.m. Central. High On, Space Tiger Jr., Stephen Wolf, Ladybird, and more. That's Lucha Brutal this Friday night in Fort Worth. Texoma Pro Wrestling presents Never Broken Friday night at the Sherman Elks Lodge in Sherman. Bell time 8 p.m. Central. Shane Taylor, Edge Stone, Tommy Prince, Rook Tyler, and more. That's Texoma Pro Wrestling this Friday night in Sherman. Metroplex Wrestling presents Texas Rumble Saturday at the MPX Event Center in Bedford. Bell time 8 p.m. Central. The Ring of Honor Women's World Champion Athena will be there. Matthew Palmer, J.D. Griffey, Tatum Manning, and more. That's Metroplex Wrestling this Saturday night in Bedford. League of Lions Wrestling presents No Love, Just Hate Saturday at D-Rock's Gym in Marshall. Bell time 7:30 p.m. Central. T.D. Shepard, Rob Boris, Ethan Daniel, Monster Creed, and more. That's League of Lions Wrestling this Saturday in Marshall. and Heart of Texas Wrestling presents Wrestle Bowl 2, Sunday at the Old Axtell ISD Gym in Axtell. Bell time, 6 p.m. Central. Mysterious Q, Barrett Brown, Sky Dela Cremosa, Nobi Bryant, and more. That's Heart of Texas Wrestling this Sunday night in Axtell. And that's a look at independent wrestling in your area, wherever you may be. Go out and support independent wrestling.
I do want to say I had covered Ethan Daniel back when we were wrestling over there in Killeen, a few years ago before the pandemic and stuff, and he was kind of like an underneath guy. So I'm happy to see that he's on like the marquee, big reason to go see this show. So he's improved over the years. All these guys have, they're always putting in the work. So
they really have. It's we say it before. A lot of these guys, you might see them on a TV screen soon. So see them while you can. So,
and in this case, you can see Athena. I'm not sure on one TV screen, but you'll see her on a pay-per-view at some point.
Yes. New Japan Pro Wrestling, big show this Saturday in San Jose. Battle in the Valley. This is the big one with Kyrie defending the IWGP Women's Championship against Mercedes Moné, the former Sasha Banks. I think a lot of folk expect Mercedes to come out of there as the champion.
I mean, it would kind of do a disservice to her if they didn't put the championship on her, since she was since she's their big acquisition.
Yeah. And they announced this match after it was sold out for the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship. Kazuchika Okada defending against Hiroshi Tanahashi.
He's still the ace to me, man. I want to see that one more time. Let him dance.
I will tell you now. When we were at the G1, G1 Classic Climax in Dallas, that was one of the G1 matches there.
Mm-hmm.
When they came out, crowd went nuts for the beginning. When the bell rang, crowd went nuts. So that'll be big. Fred Rosser defending the New Japan Strong Openweight Championship against Kenta. The Motor City Machine Guns defending the NJPW Strong Tag Team titles against the West Coast Wrecking Crew and more. So New Japan Pro Wrestling, Battle in the Valley, this Saturday, 10 p.m. Eastern, 9 p.m. Central. Get it on Fight TV. So, oh, man. It was a lot of fun last week.
Is Eddie really going to wrestle since he's been out for AEW?
He's on the card.
Yeah, I was
versus Jay White.
Yeah, I was just curious.
Switchblade Jay White and Eddie Kingston. So
I just know that he's been out of action recently. So
yeah. Last week, as I mentioned, a lot of fun. Super Bowl Radio Row, always a fun time. It's like a reunion of sorts. There are folks. The only time I see them is at Radio Row. So, as I said, easily the best moment was having Earl Campbell and Tony Dorsett next to me. Had several lifetime Longhorns. Sam Acho, Nate Boyer. It was so funny. So I'd finished talking to Nate Boyer. He has a movie called MVP. Really cool movie. So I'm sitting there. I'm waiting on Sam. And I see this individual dressed in black. He's got dreads on.
Mm-hmm.
And it looked a little familiar. He keeps coming closer. It was Ricky Williams.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
So I went up, said hi to him. It was good to see him. It was one of those things. Talked to Dean Blandino and Mike Pereira, the former NFL refs. Mike used to be, I think, the chair of the refs. Now they do the rules analysis for Fox Sports NFL coverage.
Mm-hmm.
It was cool to talk to them. Talk to Andrew Zimmern, the celebrity chef. So there's an event called Taste of the NFL. I was lucky enough to attend where they raise money to combat hunger and such, and he's one of the heads of that event. So I had a chance to talk to him. He was cool. Talked to Lee Steinberg, or the super agent, our good friend. I was at his party on Saturday, which is always fun. And of course saw all sorts of folk. I talked to Anthony Ramos, Grammy Award winner, actor, was in Hamilton, had that fantastic performance in Hamilton. He's going to be the star of the new Transformers movie coming up in June. Transformers: Rise of the Beasts.
never seen any of the Transformer movies except for the one that was the cartoon.
To
be honest with you,
I was so funny because the cartoon predates, came out before he was even born.
Oh, me too.
So I asked him if he ever seen the cartoon. So, because I saw it, but I was a teenager then. So
it's one of those things like how you take kids and you show them old cartoons that are already been done.
Yeah.
Like it's one of those things for me because it was kind of past my time already.
Yeah. I will say there was not as much of a wrestling presence on Radio Row. I had Seth Rollins, which if you go to our YouTube channel, you'll see the video myself with Seth Rollins and Special Olympics athlete Renee Manfredi. Wonderful young lady from Texas, although she was born in Hawaii. Great conversation with her, as well as with Tony Khan, which you just heard. But that was it as far as the wrestling presence. So, where last year it seemed like we had more wrestlers. I don't know.
A little shocked that there was no Roman Reigns appearance just because of his background as the champion.
Well, I was hoping, we were kind of hoping there would be some sort of tie-in because
Fox was hosting.
Fox,
that's right,
was broadcasting the Super Bowl. The last time that happened was in Miami, and Roman Reigns and Baron Corbin were doing the interviews for opening night, which used to be called Media Day. So Roman is down there with the rest of us, getting sound from this player, that player, whatever. So I was hoping they'd have somebody down there.
Or, like even Big E, because Big E, they had been using him for a lot of things.
Yeah,
and it would have been perfect.
Oh, he'd been fantastic, yeah.
Yeah, but I think they really did miss a key opportunity to kind of push both products.
It's funny. They didn't have, and they do that quite often. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what the deal is, but it just feels like they missed the boat on radio. I mean, you got 100+ radio stations there.
Yeah.
Plus all the national outlets.
Because I can guarantee you, during the NBA conference finals on TNT, you will see AEW promos.
Oh, God, yeah.
And they're going to find a way to put the MJF somewhere in that vicinity, one way or another.
Absolutely. Congratulations to the Kansas City Chiefs on getting the win.
Yeah, what a game.
See, Patrick Mahomes got that Lombardi trophy in one hand, that WWE title belt in the other.
I know, but to think that he didn't go to Texas.
Texas Tech, the pride of White House up in East Texas, up where I'm from. So, but yeah, all in all, it was a fun week. Huge thanks to everybody at the Horn for letting me go out there and anchor the coverage again. And, so yeah, we're back, and sometime in August, we'll start thinking Super Bowl 58 in Las Vegas.
Oh, that's where it's going to be at?
Las Vegas, Nevada.
Jesus.
In fact, the Las Vegas host committee had a setup right outside the door of Radio Row, and they were giving out coffee and danishes.
See, this is where
they brought on Carrot Top.
It works, though. He has one of the best shows in Vegas.
I tell you what, though, my God. You talk about somebody that has lived a few lives and looks it.
Well, yeah.
He looks rough.
Oh, I know. But he's still a good act. But, we were talking about before, I think, during the break. But this is where I would like to see the NFL revert back to, localized Super Bowl logos. Because the Las Vegas one with, the iconic stuff that they have, the Las Vegas strip, the sign, I could just see it if they would just let somebody else design the Super Bowl logo.
We'll see. We shall see. That'll be next year. So that'll do it for this week's Sports Guys Talking Wrestling. You can follow Justin Smash Simmons on Twitter, Instagram, and Twitch at The Smash Simmons. You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Stu Myrick. That's STEWMYRICK. You can follow the show on Twitter and Twitch at SGTWATX. You can find us on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube at Sports Guys Talking Wrestling. We live stream on YouTube and Twitch most Tuesday nights, 7:30 p.m. Central. You can also catch us Wednesday nights at 9 p.m. Central on the flagship radio station for the University of Texas. We are the Horn, 104.9, 101.9 FM and AM 1260. Or you can catch us anytime on demand by either going to hornfm.com and click on the On Air tab, or by subscribing to us on your favorite podcast provider. Make sure you rate and review us while you're there. For Justin, I'm Stu. Have a great rest of your week. Thank you so much for giving us a little bit of your time, and we will see you at the matches.
Goodbye and good night. Bang!
And there we go. But yeah, I've got my NASCAR credentials, so we will be out there. Myself, Rodney Rodriguez, Bobby Chaffee.
And what race is it supposed to be now?
It is what do they call it now?
See, I don't even know, man. I'm like so
the Echo Park. Is it the Echo Park Automotive Grand Prix?
I've been so disinterested.
That's the Cup. That's the Cup Series.
I've been so disinterested in NASCAR the last few years that it's like I don't even really follow it.
Let's see.
And I keep on thinking, it's like, man, this sport was once the most.
The Echo Park Automotive Grand Prix, March 26th at Circuit of the Americas. Plus, there will be the Craftsman Truck Series XPEL 225 and the Xfinity Series 250.
Okay, so
on that weekend.
So you get the full race weekend.
Yeah, you get all three series.
That's cool.
Which they've had every year. And the Speedway Motorsports folks who run Texas Motor Speedway in Fort Worth, they come down, they take over, and it's always a fantastic experience for us that cover the race.
Oh, you did mention
they're fantastic. They're wonderful. And
yeah, like they make it very accessible.
They do. In fact, they were the ones that got me Undertaker last year when he drove the pace car.
That's cool.
So yeah. So I'm set for that and the Dell Technologies Match Play PGA event same weekend. So I'll be splitting time. So
you going to this preseason game tomorrow?
No, I'll be at work. You talking about for Austin FC?
Mm-hmm.
No, I'll be at work.
What time is this game at?
I forget. But I'm looking forward to the kickoff to the season.
I was going to say, what, USFL football?
February 25th against St. Louis. Expansion team, St. Louis. St. Louis City SC.
Oh, you're talking about soccer. I thought you were talking about
MLS, Major League Soccer.
I thought you were talking about USFL.
No, USFL is April. XFL starts in a week or two.
Yeah. Like next week.
Yeah. So we will have some spring football. I'll check it out. So
I don't know if I'm really going to watch it all that much, man. I try, but it's just
I'm there with you. All right, we're going to sign off for this week. Again, thanks so much for joining us. We'll recap everything, from Elimination Chamber next week. I'll also have at least part of the podcast, the radio show. I was also able to talk to Drew McIntyre last week with a Special Olympics athlete. So you'll hear that conversation.
I didn't even know he was there.
He wasn't. It was by phone.
Oh,
it was
okay.
virtual. So, but yeah. So, but we will be back next week. Again, thanks to everybody for joining us. Have a great